we've been kind of a well-kept secret. You even said there are some people around the country that don't really know what a Bealls is. But once the customer discovers that, or once people find out, it's a pretty remarkable story, an unusual story for a fourth generation, 110-year-old company with a family CEO to be thriving, especially in challenging times. So the customer wants to see more of that, and they respond very well when they learn that.
Hello and welcome to Retail Remix. I'm your host, Nicole Silberstein. It's very rare for a retailer, or any business for that matter, to last for 100 years. And so in that regard, off-price chain Bealls is a standout. Founded in 1915, the family-owned company is celebrating its 110th anniversary this year and is now run by Matt Bell, great-grandchild of the company's founder, Robert Bell. Perhaps that family connection is part of the brand's secret to longevity, but there's definitely more to it than that. So in today's episode, brought to you by Big Commerce, we're chatting with Bealls president Tianne Doyle, who herself has been at the company for more than 30 years. Tianne takes us inside the company's strategy and evolutions over the last century to help pinpoint what has given Bealls such staying power and how the company plans to continue for the next 100 years. Welcome, everyone, to Retail Remix. I'm excited to have with me today Tianne Doyle, president of Bealls. Thanks for being here, Tianne.
It's great to be here.
So Bealls has a pretty sizable store footprint, but people in certain areas of the country may have never had the chance to encounter one. So why don't we start by just hearing a little bit about the history of the company and how it's evolved into what it is today?
It's really just a beautiful story. So R.M. Bell, our founder, was a cotton farmer in Georgia, and he moved to Florida in 1915 and started a general store that would eventually become Bealls Department Store. His son, E.R., had the ambition to grow the chain, and so he did that. He grew it across the entire state of Florida, and then in 1987, E.R. and third-generation CEO Bob Bell had this idea to start an off-price chain. And so the Bealls Outlet brand was launched, and over time grew into be a sizable chain of stores. So we were operating those off-price stores under two names, Bealls Outlet and Burke's Outlet, until 2020. And then we were able to acquire the intellectual property for the name Bealls nationwide. And so let's fast forward. Now we're fourth generation CEO Matt Bell, and he made a significant investment to rebrand the entire chain of stores. So today we operate more than 660 stores in 22 states under the banners Bealls, Bealls Florida, and Home Centric. And so really a remarkable story. The business has stayed in the family for many years. And just a little teaser, Matt has a son who's interested in the business. So many years ahead of us as well.
And part of the rebrand, Bealls didn't start as solely off-price, but now that is the bulk of the business, right?
Yes. So our Bealls Florida business was a traditional department store, and that was our legacy business for many, many years. And really only recently, in the last 9 months, we transformed our Bealls Florida business to off-price. So no more sale signs up and down, great ticket price every day, amazing deals, taking advantage of opportunities in the market, and offering just a plethora of great brand names.
And you also have been at Bealls for almost your whole career, which is very rare these days. Why have you stayed with the company for so long?
Yeah, well, the lure that got me here from Macy's, which is where I started my career, was the growth of the off-price chain. The idea that I was joining a new division, it was essentially a startup. We had around 35 stores at the time. It felt like a great challenge and opportunity. Having grown up in a family-owned retail store, I always fashioned myself a retail entrepreneur, not just a merchant. And so when I joined, I realized that Bealls actually breeds entrepreneurs. The concept here is we empower our associates to think creatively, bring new ideas about what ways that we can make better connections with the customer or grow the business. And so with this appetite that I came with to learn and grow, Bealls provided that for me. I was moved around the company to different responsibilities, added responsibilities over time, and got exposure to the entire business, which is fantastic. Store operations, distribution centers, real estate. So, Bealls really encouraged me, as we encourage our employees, to reach outside of my comfort zone and to learn something new every day. And so that ability to learn in a fast-paced environment filled my cup, and I stayed. It was the hook. At the same time, I really found purpose in my work. As a leader who comes at everything with compassion and empathy, our people first focus kept me plugged in. And it's been really a blessing in my career that I've been able to help architect the culture that we have here. It's something I really cherish and remain committed to all the time. So the culture is the reason that I'm still here today and we are thriving and doing well. So many companies say people come first, but we really mean it. There's a path to success here for everybody. It's all about personal and professional development. And we just embrace a culture of connection. So I'm connected. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. I feel like that might be part of the answer to this next question. But the reason we have you on today is because Bealls is celebrating a banner birthday this year, 110 years. It's not a birthday that many retail brands reach. What do you attribute, or to what do you attribute the company's staying power?
Yeah, well, so the quick answer is financial responsibility. So there is a story here, and that is that R.M. Bell, our founder, actually lost the business to the bank during the Great Depression. He asked if he could work for the store and saved money for 10 years and bought the business back. And so that was so foundational in the financial standard that we hold ourselves to. And so since then, Bealls really has operated with very high financial standards. We watch our cash. We take risks, but we balance that with our cash position. That's first. Secondarily, we're always looking for ways to evolve the business. So whether it's introducing new categories of business, introducing new brands, or testing new store concepts, we've done some of all of that. So we're always trying new ideas if it resonates with our customer and with our core guest, and if it lives up to our purpose, which is outfitting the family for less. And so I think more than all of that is that we really we understand that the consumer is the power behind retail. And so we make guest engagement our number one priority. And no matter how big we get as a company, we still operate our stores and engage our guests the way you would be treated if you walked into a family store, if one of the Bealls was, that cashier behind the register. And so we empower our store teams to connect in really authentic ways so that the customer leaves happy. In fact, our guest engagement program is every guest leaves happy. And so I think it really makes us different from our competitors, and it's given us staying power. People who are loyal to Bealls and shop Bealls love Bealls.
How much do you think that appeal relates back to the fact that Bealls started as a family business and continues even to this day to be a family-owned business?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. We hear this time and again through customer surveys. Family-owned and Florida-founded is in one of our banners. Customers want family businesses to stay around. And so that, and we still have a family CEO. We've been kind of a well-kept secret. You even said there are some people around the country that don't really know what a Bealls is. But once the customer discovers that, or once people find out, it's a pretty remarkable story, an unusual story for a fourth generation, 110-year-old company with a family CEO to be thriving, especially in challenging times. So the customer wants to see more of that, and they respond very well when they learn that.
Yeah, I think that longevity, and also the fact that you, and I imagine other executives at the company, stay with the company as well, really seem like they're a testament to the fact that something special is going on at Bealls. So I wonder if you could kind of zero in a little bit more on the company's approach to culture and employee experience, because it seems like there's really something special there too.
Yeah, most certainly. Each one of our family CEOs has had their commitment and their mission and their leadership purpose. And our current CEO, Matt, made a commitment when he stepped up as CEO in 2019 that he wanted Bealls to have the best culture in the world. That was our BHAG. It definitely starts with leadership. And, Matt has been very, very supportive of all associates in the company, but certainly our leadership team, to understand that culture comes from a place within. And so we're very focused on continually growing as people. You have to be a really great human before you can be a great leader and a successful retailer. And that's our approach. And so, our values of openness and transparency and compassion for one another, it started with the family, but that's really deeply embedded and deeply rooted in who we are and how we are with one another. And so We're a team that focuses on self-awareness and mindfulness and actually prioritizes that over results. And you get really great outcomes when you're focused on your own self-awareness and how you show up and your presence.
There are, of course, a number of other big chains playing in the same off-price categories as Bealls. What do you consider Bealls' competitive advantage or advantages in the off-price space?
Yeah. Well, very easy. We're easy. So, what we lack in scale, we make up for in number one, genuine relationships with our vendors and with our customers. And we're pretty easy to work with. So we can move quickly. There's not a lot of bureaucracy and approvals. We can move with agility. We're very scrappy. So we're known for being fast to respond, fast to react, fast to take advantage of opportunities. And so that's really helped quite a bit. And that's where our business partners turn to us because they know that they're going to get an answer with high integrity and build a relationship for the long run, not just playing for today. That, and then I'd have to say that our store associates are, we are your hometown store. And so everyone that walks through that front door of a store, crosses that threshold, gets greeted like it's a place where they belong. And so the culture within our four walls of our chain of stores makes a really big difference. And that's a competitive advantage.
Of course, no brand can last a century by staying the same. So next, we're going to find out how Bealls has and continues to evolve with the times, right after this message from our sponsor.
Retailers know how frustrating it is to use a rigid e-commerce platform with tons of restrictions and hidden fees. But what if you could customize and curate your online store exactly how you wanted? Meet BigCommerce, the flexible e-commerce platform that works for you, not against you, where you can easily integrate with any best-in-class tools with no additional fees. That means more money in your pocket. Whether you're selling B2C or B2B, BigCommerce delivers powerful e-commerce solutions for every business need. Want to learn more? Visit bigcommerce.com/retailremix.
So one of the hardest things for legacy retailers is, or can be, evolving with the times. How has Bealls managed this throughout its 110 years? And what are some of the recent evolutions that you think have set the company up for the future?
Well, certainly the transformation of our Bealls, Florida store from what was a traditional department store to an experiential off-price retailer that caters to the active and outdoor lifestyle that's appreciated by so many Floridians. So it was a very bold move that we made, understanding risk involved because you have to bring the customer along who's accustomed to flyers and sale signs around the store. But we made that commitment. We touched every single item in the store to reduce our ticket prices to everyday amazing deals. So today, Bealls, Florida, 9 months into this, has truly expanded. We added 150 new brands to the store. We still stand for our own exclusive brands, and it's a curated assortment of great brands, but we're really dominant in certain categories like swimwear and outdoor and golf and all those things that Floridians live in to enjoy the outdoors 12 months a year here in the Sunshine State. So that, and then recently, in conjunction with our 110-year anniversary celebration, we launched a new ambassador program. And this ambassador program taps into our loyalty program. And our loyalty program has guests that shop us very frequently, our love bucket of guests. And so it is our goal to get 4,000 ambassadors out of that group of guests. And so far, we have 900. This just started 60 days ago. And these loyal customers now help curate content and take our story out into their communities and on social media. So it's a way of reaching stores, every store in some way, but with a face behind the brand or a friend behind the brand. And so we have a lot of great traction from the ambassador program and more to come on that.
I love that idea of drawing your ambassadors from your most loyal customers. I will have to check that out and see how that's playing out online, but that just sounds like a really, really smart move. You've also done some really fun localized store designs in places like Roswell, New Mexico, and Dothan, Alabama. So tell us a little bit about some of those initiatives and the strategy behind that.
Sure thing. So as part of our culture of connection, we like to find something unique about a community or a town and celebrate that in our store. So in Roswell, New Mexico, we have an alien activation. This includes a spaceship that's crashing into the store and also some life-size aliens in the store. In Dothan has a peanut parade around town. And so we participate in the peanut parade, and we have a family of peanut shoppers. All of this creating some great photo ops in our store and some fun for our customers. And then one other example is in Savannah, Georgia, that's really known for its stories of hauntings. We've taken some of the local icons and through murals have illustrated them around the store in a way that's still complementary to our brand, but really brings the community and what the town's known for into the store. And so again, we do this selectively in locations where there's something that resonates and where it makes sense in our physical store. But just another way to reach out to the community or the town and bring it into our store and be a really good partner and supporter. At the same time, we also do quite a bit to reach out to the community. So at back to school and at Christmas, we do some community outreach. And then Bealls, just as a company, we encourage our associates to get out into the community in any way possible.
So I think every retailer is asking themselves, what's the best way to meet customers in this kind of fraught economic moment? And off-price seems to be well positioned right now, just given that that value is kind of so paramount right now for customers. But at the same time, we're seeing some indication that consumers are pulling back on discretionary spending. So what's been your approach in meeting consumers in this moment?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. And we are well aware that it's a challenging time and people are navigating uncertainty. And so we just stay committed to doing what's right for the guests first with every decision that we make. And for Bealls, what that means is we're going to get the very best deal we can negotiate. Our focus has been on offering value, and that comes by way of better quality products or bigger brand names. But we don't just look at value as price. It's really this combination of innovative product, new fashion, recognizable brands, and high quality. When you add all of that together, that's what equates to value. And then the other part of the value equation for us that separates us from other off-price or discount retailers really is our very generous loyalty program. It's highly rewarding. It does not require a credit card contract, so you do not have to be creditworthy to join our loyalty program. And it's a great way to keep our customers or our guests connected with special rewards like a birthday reward or a half birthday reward. In fact, for our 110-year anniversary celebration, we gifted every loyalty member with a cash reward in their account. So that's value on top of already amazing and delightful prices. And so we look to really dial up our loyalty program to help that customer who is getting through this time of uncertainty.
I think the last big question is, once you wrap up all of your birthday celebrations, it's time to then start thinking about the next 110 years, right? So, and maybe 110 years is too far to look into the future, but even just for the next 10 years, how does the company now plan to really continue this century-long legacy?
We have a clear sight to continued store growth. A lot of potential there. In fact, we've identified the opportunity or possibility to reach 1,000 stores in the next 10 or so years. And so and we're also exploring the potential for a new store format. Because we do so well in smaller markets, we've got a smaller footprint that works well for us that we can leverage for further growth. Again, it's really about bringing great brands and value to customers in all parts of the country. And we're also focused on our digital business. We see the evolution of the consumer, and so we're prepared to provide her access to our product and our brand, regardless of how she's shopping, whether she's shopping in our physical stores or on our websites or social shopping. We're really prepared to meet the customer where they are.
Great. Well, I won't be around in 110 years, but I do hope the Bealls brand will be. Thank you so much, Tianne, for really taking us behind the scenes of the Bealls story and giving us something positive to focus on right now.
No, you're very welcome, Nicole. It's great to see you.
Thank you also to our sponsor, BigCommerce, for making this episode possible. If you want to join in on the conversation, head over to the Retail Touchpoints page on LinkedIn and share your thoughts in the comments section. And feel free to also let us know what retailers or topics you'd like to hear about next. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you all soon. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Retail Remix. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a future episode. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or your favorite podcast app. Until next time, keep mixing it up.